gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hold it, you're not that pretty. Come on, man. I took up the wall.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's why I said, Larry, on the bungle fight, thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition on Split Decision. With me today, I have the youngest promoter, champion, and the highest paid athlete in all of boxing, the lightweight champion of the world, Devin, the Dream Haney. How you doing, champ?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Pleasure having you back on Split Decision. There's a lot to talk about with you. There's always many topics. A lot of people, though, they want to get your thoughts on Teofimo Lopez testing positive for COVID. What was your reaction to the news, and what's your thoughts on that overall?
I mean, of course, wish any type of illness or any type of thing like that on anybody. We're all competitors at the end of the day, and it's just that. So, I hope that he gets better, and that's all I can really say on that.
Well, leading up to his Composa's fight, when he was promoting the fight, he had stated that he wants your head. He's going to put you in the dirt. He also said that even if you had lost to Linares, he wanted to fight you next. But then we heard that the plan is set for Teo versus Lomachenko rematch in December. You was left out of the party. So what's your thoughts on all of the above? I know the COVID kind of canceled the plans anyway, but what's your reaction to all of that?
He can say what he want to say. At the end of the day, he was hoping that I actually lost to Linares. He was sitting there with his fingers crossed, hoping that I lost. He'd say, "Oh, I'm not fighting him," or "Oh, I told you," or this and that. So he can say what he want to say. Deep down in his heart, he wanted me to lose. And obviously, we see that he has different plans. That when he gets past Cambosos, or what Cambosis, whatever the fuck his name is, we see that he has different plans than to fight Devin Haney. But it is what it is. And I knew that was going to happen. I watch after the fight how he finds a way to dodge, or he finds a way to slip through the cracks. It's going to happen.
So you believe the fight is going to happen, or you think he's going to make more excuses to avoid the fight?
He's going to make every excuse in the book for the fight not to happen.
Well, what's your thoughts on Teofimo assistant coach, George Rabio, I believe his name is? He said if Teofimo beats Composis, Haney is the next logical fight. Is champ versus champ. Do you think they at odds, Teofimo and his assistant coach, Jorge Robio?
Do I think what?
Do you think they at odds? Because apparently Teo want the Lomachenko rematch, but his assistant coach, he said the logical fight to make for Teo is fighting Devin Haney next after Composis.
His coach knows that I'm the champ. His coach knows that he's not the real undisputed champ. So, his coach is the one over there with some sense that knows that it is the happen. It is to fight. The undisputed is to fight for all the belts. So, props to his coach for knowing what's real.
Yes, sir. Well, you also have Tank coming off an impressive performance. You know, he won by KO, moving up 2 weight divisions. So, what's your reaction to Gervonta Tank Davis stopping Barrios? What's your thoughts on his performance?
I mean, he went in there and did what he had to do. He went in there and did what he was supposed to do. But it's just funny to me because why skip a whole weight class? The guy is 5'5". You're not even a real 135 pounder. All the 135 pounders are bigger than you. So why skip a weight class and go up to 140 for a secondary belt? Obviously, because you've seen that Barrios was food. He knows that at 135 is smoke.
So, do you see the Gervonta Tank Davis fight more realistic at 140 now, or you still see it possible at 135? Since you're eventually going to come up soon.
Realistic at all. I mean, everybody heard what Floyd said. That they only going to fight PBC and Mayweather Promotions fighters and yada yada yada. So we see what it is, and you just got to read between the lines. He's not going to any real competition. Anybody who's was be a threat to beating him. Barrios, no disrespect to him, but they built him up for that opportunity, that fight right there.
So do you think? Do you know Barrios at all? Were you familiar with him before Gervonta Tank Davis fought him?
Yeah, me and Barrios, we sparred multiple times at Virgil's gym in the Bay. So yeah, I'm real familiar with Barrios.
And how talented was he when you sparred him? Like, did you know he was going to be a future champion?
I mean, Barrios, he's a great guy. He works hard. That's what I could definitely say about him. Virgil is a terrific coach as well. So I mean, I have nothing but positive things to say about them. I don't want to say anything negative. He worked for the opportunity. He did nothing wrong, but fight who they put in front of him. But at the end of the day, real is real, and they built him up for that fight, for that opportunity, for him to be fed to Tank.
Well, speaking of Gervonta Tank Davis, Floyd Mayweather did say that he's only going to match him up against PBC fighters. However, Leonard Ellaby, he revealed that Ryan Garcia is a possible opponent, and obviously he's not with PBC. But Ryan Garcia told Leonard Ellaby that he wants the Gervonta Tank Davis fight next. Ryan revealed he already knocked out Anxiety, and now he wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis before the end of the year. What's your thoughts on that development?
Ryan Garcia, he's full of cap. He got a whole lot of cap in him. Was this shit real? Was Anxiety real? I mean, because at first I was thinking, okay, maybe it's real. Maybe it's very much possible for somebody to be going through things, and everybody goes through things. Everyone has their fighting their own demons. But so he was lined up to fight Javier Fortuna. The fight was made. Boom, he pulled out because of Anxiety. Let me see. A month later, he's talking shit about me on saying how he would have knocked me out or whatever the case may be. A few weeks later, he's saying that he wants to fight Gervonta Davis. He knocked out Anxiety. If you really got anxiety, that shit, you got to go through therapy. You got to take time to that's not saying that you just go take a trip with you and your girlfriend. Y'all go take a trip, and then I don't have any more anxiety. If you really have anxiety, that's something that that's just not something that you get over overnight. So I don't know.
Well,
I think he's just talking just to keep his name relevant. That's it.
Well, your former opponent, Jorge Linares, he had shared your opinion on that. He actually said that he don't believe the Anxiety. He thinks that the Lou Campbell knockdown pretty much what is really what brought up Anxiety to begin with. He thinks that the fact that he was fighting a harder hitter in Fortuna is why he was claiming Anxiety. So do you co-sign Linares' comments on that? He thinks that the Anxiety wasn't real.
Oh no, I wouldn't say about Fortuna. I would say that he knew that if he won that fight, you know, that he was gonna have to fight Devin Haney. That's what I could say. I don't know about Fortuna. I know about Devin Haney though.
Oh, okay. And speaking of Linares, what was your thoughts? You know, you guys had mutual respect after the fight. It was a great performance. But, you know, when you went to his locker room, he told you got good power. You have really good power. But then a few moments later, he did another interview, and he said that you didn't have any power. What's your thoughts on him, you know, contradicting himself there?
I mean, when we was face to face, like Teofimo, you know, they say different things when you face to face, but of course when you have time to think, and you know you're by yourself, then you say something totally different. So it is what it is. The world's seen it. I'm happy that it was recorded. The world saw what he said, and it is what it is. He can say what he want. In the fight, I ran up 9 rounds. Easy 9 rounds. The 10th round, he hit me with a good shot. Boom. After the 11th and 12th, everyone says, why didn't he press him? Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? You tell me why he didn't. Why he didn't? It must be something backing his ass up. It must be something that, you know, stopping him from doing that shit. Why he just didn't just stalk me out and go blow for blow? He had 9 rounds to do it. Why didn't he do it? He never went in there and said, hey, I'm going to take his punch and I'm going to try to hit him as hard as I can. So it's obviously something that's keeping him back. It's obviously something that's stopping him from doing that shit. And opponent after opponent after opponent, it's the same thing. If you say I don't have power, then come show me. Come show me. Come just take all that shit that I'm throwing, just come take it and do it to land one big shot. It doesn't happen. When they get in there, it'd be something totally different. So I could say, oh, this and that. Linares hit me with a good shot, but before that, I didn't feel any power. I promise you, if you go watch the fight, I said in the corner, I said, Dad, he didn't have no power. And this is in the middle of the fight. I said, Dad, I don't feel no power. I didn't feel nothing. And even after, when he hit me with a good shot, and I still was like, it wasn't like, oh fuck, I didn't go see, like, I wasn't dazed, like I was hurt, but I didn't see like lights or nothing like that. Like, I never been hurt before, so I never knew what it was like. They say you see stars or you see lights or something like that. I didn't see none of that. And I wasn't like, damn, that shit hurt or nothing like that. It was a shot that I didn't see. That was it.
And it was you that was backing up Jorge Linares after the 5th round, if I'm not mistaken. You were backing him up throughout the night. So that's you showing a different dimension to your game, and also going straight to the puncher and backing up the puncher for half of the fight. But what's your thoughts, regardless of what the critics say?
I could have went there and I could have boxed 12 rounds, didn't take no chances, boxed him smooth, hit and not get hit. Then they would have said, oh, well, he's boring, he's this, he's that. I went in there, I put on an entertaining fight. I was walking the boxer down. Walking the puncher down. They said I didn't have no power, but I was walking him down. I was hurting him. He was wearing down. I saw weakness, so I started to press him, and that's when he hit me with a good shot. If I would have went in there and I would have 12 rounds, they would have still had something to say. So they're gonna say something regardless.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't. But regardless of what the critics say, how shocking is it to know that you threw more punches in the 11th round, which was the round right after he caught you with a combination that you didn't see coming? Let's show thoughts on you throwing more punches according to stats than Linares did in the 11th round.
Yeah, I do that. And they can say what they want to say, but the numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. They can say, "Oh, he went there, he held." Well, what was when I was all this Linares doing? Because I threw more punches. But it is what it is. all the greats have went in there and they faced adversity. You know, you can go back to Floyd, Andre Ward against Darnell Boone, Canelo versus Matthew Hatton. The list goes on and on and on and on. So I'm 22 years old. That was my third title defense. You know, we on the fourth one, and I'm only getting better.
Yeah, and we all know what time it is at the end of the day. They tell Deontay Wilder, you know, who gets nothing but knockouts, you're not good enough technically. And then they turn around and criticize you, Shakur, and Floyd Mayweather for being too good technically. You know, so you damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know, at the end of the day, we all know what time it is. But JoJo Diaz said he will stop you if you guys do fight. But then he said he may move back down to 130 pounds. What's your thoughts on his comments?
First off, who has JoJo Diaz stopped and ranked in the top 10? Please tell me. Aki, I know you know boxing. You study this shit day in and day out. Please tell me who's JoJo Diaz has stopped ranked in the top 1 through 10.
Yeah, I could give you guys he fought, but I don't know anybody he stopped on the high level.
So he has stopped me, but he didn't just stop this nigga that he just fought. Who's well, I think the guy was a really like a one. I think the guy is 130. Oh yeah, he fought him at 130. I don't know his name. It's like a Russian guy.
Right.
The guy that he really lost the fight. It really lost, and what they made it a draw or something like that. So
yeah, it was a draw.
Yeah. So he gonna stop me. JoJo Diaz, get the fuck on.
So why you think JoJo will fight his way to earn a title shot with you, you know, by becoming the WBC interim champion, all to move back down to 130 after he won an interim title? Why do that?
The motherfuckers say, oh, yeah, we'll see. I might go back down to 130, yada, yada, yada. Motherfucker, this is going to be the second time that somebody fight their way to become the mandatory to just skate away. This is going to be the second time in history. And I'm happy to say it. I'm saying that I'm proud to say that.
Yeah, well, the statistics is crazy because you got Lomachenko, who gave up the belt in order to avoid you, and then you have Ryan, who became your mandatory, the interim champion. He pulled anxiety, and now JoJo Diaz, he's now the second one that, like you said, is now the interim champion. If he does beat Fortuna, all of a sudden now he's talking about moving down.
And then he got some fucking nerve. He gonna say, Javier Fortuna, man. Boogeyman where? I try to fight him back in Showbox days. They didn't want to fight me then. Then I came off the injury. I called him out, wanted to fight him. They didn't want to fight. They petitioned to they emailed the WBC to fight for I want to say interim or a silver. I think it was interim. The interim belt. They wanted to fight Luke. Oh yeah, they wanted to fight Luke Campbell or Linares for the interim belt. So how the fuck is he the boogeyman? I wanted to fight him when I was 19, 20 years old. Fuck ain't no boogeyman. He had multiple opportunities to win the world title. Robert Easter beat him years ago. So who's scared of Javier Fortuna?
So why do you think JoJo is running with that narrative that Fortuna is the boogeyman and ignoring the real boogeyman that got the whole division shook, the Dream Haney?
He just trying to bring some excitement to that fight because nobody even cares about the fight. It's fight week. What's today? Monday? Yeah, it's their fight week and nobody even cares about that fucking fight. So of course he wants to try to, you know, paint this narrative or something like that because it's nobody even cares. And
well, he did. Yeah.
And we'll see after when he wins if he wants to fight me.
And that's what I was going to say is that I think the winner is ordered to fight you.
Yeah,
right.
him or Fortuna. It don't matter.
Yeah, the winner's order to fight you. So if JoJo Diaz is victorious, that wouldn't that be his biggest payday? Because he said he's looking for the biggest fights. So this is his biggest fight yet as far as payday and winning a world title in a new division. So
Of course, he makes. Of course, I
yeah.
be his payday. He makes no money, and when he do make money, his team take all his money. You can look it up. His team take all his money. He walks away with nothing. So of course I'd be by far his biggest payday.
So
Gary Russell beat him at what? Well, wait, 126?
126.
Yeah. So come on now.
Do you think he will fight you for his biggest payday if it comes down to it?
We'll see.
And the offer presented.
Yeah, hey, this boxing shit crazy. I didn't see motherfuckers do the unthinkable. So we just gotta see. I can't speak. I mean, I hope. I'm willing to face my mandatories. I have no problem with that.
Well, speaking of you facing the mandatories, that's what makes a champion is for the champion to defend his belt. I believe a couple months ago, Lomachenko, he gave his thoughts on, the titles, stuff like that, where he stated out of his own mouth, which I quote, Devin Haney has a real WBC belt. My real belt went to Devin Haney. End of the quote. Now he claiming Teofimo is undisputed, regardless of the facts that say otherwise, including himself.
You know why? All right, I'm gonna tell you exactly why he's saying that. He's saying that because first he said I had the belt. I was a real WBC champ. Okay. So now that they negotiated in the fight with Teofimo Lopez, now he wants to paint the narrative that it's for undisputed. Now that he thinks that him and Teofimo Lopez may fight, he wants to say, okay, now I'm the real I'm undisputed, yada yada yada. But you was just saying that I had the belt. So which one is it? Make up your mind.
Yeah. Well, we already know, the facts is already out there, and one thing for sure, two things for sure.
He know he gave me his belt.
Yeah.
He know behind closed doors that he gave me that belt. When nobody was there, we met up and he said, "Hey Devin," he took it off. "Hey Devin, oh, you can have it, you."
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy part. They petitioned not to fight Devin Haney, but Devin Haney always petitioned to fight. So that's why you ended up with his title.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, facts is over emotion, and facts say that Devin Haney is the WBC champion because according to all of the other organizations, the IBF, the WBO, and all the other organizations, they recognize Devin Haney as the WBC champion. If you check all their websites, they all list Devin Haney as the WBC champion at lightweight, not Teofimo Lopez, which makes Teofimo unified and Devin the WBC champion. So if Teo wants to become undisputed, he has to face the dream Devin Haney, which we might as well start calling you the nightmare, because nobody really want to go through you. So how did you get that nickname, the dream? How did that come to about?
Actually, somebody gave it to me when I was young, and I just like the way that it sounded, and it just stuck with me.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to dive into a segment where I'm gonna just ask you. I'm gonna throw out names, and I just want you to give me your first thoughts, on this particular person I'm throwing at you. So first thing that come up to your mind when I say Ryan Garcia.
A faker.
First thing that come up to your mind when I say Teofimo Lopez.
Fake undisputed. Fake belts.
First thing that come up to your mind when I say Gervonta Tank Davis.
Scared of 135.
JoJo Diaz.
Scared of Devin Haney.
Well, one thing they all had in common was being scared.
Man,
So, uh, who is Devin Haney? Top 5 greatest of all time in the sport of boxing.
man, that's a hard question because it's just so many different eras and it's just so many. But I would say order. Um, I gotta go with Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, uh, Floyd, of course. Leonard, um, Tyson. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's 5. Yeah, I think that's 5. Yeah, so that's a strong list. That's a really strong list. So if you have to pick one person from the 5 you just named to be the greatest in the sport of boxing, who would that person be?
I would have to say Floyd because he just dominated the whole era. Lost. At the end of the day, they can say what they want, but numbers don't lie. He never lost.
Floyd Mayweather, TBE, and somebody in the chat said, "Me and my wife can't wait until you beat the COVID out of Tio." Um, you know, the whole world want to see that fight, Devin. But before I do let you go, they always say that Composers, one of these people, Composers had came out and said that uh, you should have sent the email the WBC sent you straight to spam, dismissing the fact that you petitioned to fight Lomachenko. You didn't ask for the title. You petitioned to fight who was at the time pound for pound Lomachenko, right? And he gave up the belt just like Riddick Bowe gave up his belt to Lennox Lewis. So in a way, you won the title the same way Lennox Lewis did,
Yeah,
who was the last undisputed champion. So what's your thoughts on old media painting the narrative and all these fighters trying to dismiss you as the real WBC champion when facts say you are?
I mean, like I said, numbers don't lie. The fighters, it seems like the fighters who saying it is the fighters that don't want to fight me. You know what I'm saying? If it was so easy, if I was such an easy fight and I was this and I was that, well, Linares would have beat me. Gamboa would have beat me. These fighters would want to fight me because I'm food, right? I'm a fake champ. These fighters would want to fight me. Linares would have beat me. But why Linares ain't beat me then? I'm a fraud. I'm not the truth. I'm not the real deal. Linares four division champion. So what? What can you say now? Gamboa, why he didn't beat me? So they can say what they want, but numbers don't lie. The proof is in the pudding.
So if it's up to Devin Haney, who is Devin Haney fighting next? And who's realistically next? Is it the
Real,
winner of JoJo versus Fortuna? Or is that what we're
real,
looking at?
my mandatories are next. I want to knock them out. But of course, if it's a big fight, then I will gladly take the big fight, over that, because I want all the belts. I will, of course, um, if it's a Ryan Garcia, if it's a Gervonta Davis, then the everyone the world knows more sense. But other than that, then I'm gonna fight my mandatories.
Well, we can't wait, for your return. Hopefully, it's sooner than later. With that being said, pleasure talking with you, champion. The real WBC champion, Devin Haney. What's the last thing you want to say to all the fans that's tuning in?
No, I just want to say, thank y'all for all my support. I'll be, watching, paying attention to, everything that y'all, be saying. Thank you, Aki, for, supporting me as well. And y'all gonna see me back in the ring soon. I can't wait to, you know, showcase once again, put on another clinic, and keep it going.
And we can't wait. This is Devin Haney, the dream. himself on split decision for the second time or the third time. So, like I said before, it's always a pleasure talking with you, champion. And I'll be in touch with you soon.
Sir, see you soon.
All right, peace. That was Devin the Dream Haney. Most likely, you guys going to see him against the winner of JoJo Diaz versus Javier Fortuna. I think it's going to be JoJo Diaz. Stylistically, it should favor JoJo Diaz, but it's a good fight, you know. So I can't wait for the fight because the winner is going to be fighting Devin Haney next. So I really want to see that fight for due to that alone. And you heard the champion Devin Haney. He's willing to face all comers, regardless of the name. Just put him in front of him, and he beat him. He want to fight the best fights that the fans want to see. Is all about the best versus the best. So for everybody that's tuning in, click on the like button, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. It don't cost you a thing. It's free to hit the like button. So for all the people that's tuning in, almost 1,000 in the house, make sure you guys hit the like button. And to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV. And shout out to everybody that threw the super chats. Devin Haney is one of the most feared boxers in the game. Hashtag the boogeyman. And that's been the story all along. It's so many different names. Great names. I mean, from Ryan Garcia to Gervonta Tank Davis and even Teofimo Lopez. They don't want to fight Devin Haney next for good reasons because he is the boogeyman. I mean, like I said before, when you have a fighter that when he won the title, the champion gave up the belt, he just handed it to him. He told him, hey, you can have it. I'm not trying to fight you for it. Basically, he waved the white flag and surrendered the belt, a.k.a. Lomachenko. Now we have his own mandatories from Ryan Garcia, Fortuna, and now JoJo Diaz. Shockingly, I never thought I'd see the days where JoJo Diaz is not looking to make the biggest and the biggest payday and the best fight for the fans, which is JoJo Diaz versus Devin Haney. I mean, I really never thought I would see the day because JoJo Diaz, he will fight anybody. But when it comes to the boogeyman Devin Haney, there's levels to being a boogeyman, and Devin is the A-class boogeyman for a reason. So hopefully that fight does come to bout because it makes no sense to fight for the eliminator and an interim title, all to move back down to 130. You should have had never came up to 135 to begin with if that's the case. Because basically JoJo Diaz, he just stole Devin Haney's future opponent in Fortuna and moved back down. Therefore, hopefully that fight does come to fruition. And after that, let's all pray and hope that Teofimo does keep his word and fight Devin Haney instead of a Lomachenko rematch, so on and so forth. With that being said, shout out to Devin the Dream Haney, and to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.
Mexicans, anybody can get it.